Well, hey everybody, this is Patrick. I'm with Soul Reflections, Iboga Retreats and Community. Today we're going to do a myth buster, so it's dispelling the myths of Iboga and Ibogaine being the same thing. So I'm just going to, let's see, make sure the rest are. And then I believe.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone.
Okay.
Super excited to be talking about some myths around Iboga and Ibogaine today.
There.
Just waiting for Katie and Mark.
Let's see. We're getting there. This, yeah, first time I'm doing this thing here on this phone, so it's kind of
Learning curve.
definitely a learning curve.
Oh, yeah. So I hope everyone is doing well this beautiful evening. Here in Calgary, Canada, we have snow, but, you know, a beautiful time of year just to sit and hibernate and create.
Katie's having some problems.
Oh, no,
Oh
Katie.
no, she says she joined. She says, I'm here, but I can't see myself.
Oh, we can't see Katie either.
Technology, yeah. No, don't want to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm. Oh my goodness. What's this say?
I had to send like a request to, like I sent you a little request to join and then so maybe
Yeah.
do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
there's
this
Hello,
is
my
Mark.
Mark.
friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So if Katie sends a
I'm
request.
good. Happy to be here, guys.
Yay! We're just getting Katie on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if she does
What's
it one more time. So yeah, it's quite blustery out here today in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So it's nice to be inside and talking to you all here on this.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Upstate New York as well.
Yeah.
Negative temperatures this morning, but it
Oh,
warmed up a little during the day. But
Mm.
yeah.
we're gonna be in Mexico hosting some Iboga retreats in January. So we're excited to go to warm weather in January, which will be wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're happy everybody's here today. This is an area that we've wanted to talk with people about for a while with Iboga and Ibogaine, the differences and how they work differently. So we hope
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets quite a bit out of this today.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of information going around about Iboga and but mostly Ibogaine, right? And
Yeah.
so it can be interesting some of the things that are being told. And while I think they have their roots in accuracy, kind of, you know, get get distorted along the way sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have to take time and to chat about what it is that like what it is Iboga and Ibogaine are. And what we're going to talk about today is the differences between Iboga and Ibogaine, that they're not just the same thing interchangeably.
That is true.
Yeah. Katie still struggling?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's being cheeky.
Right?
Yeah, unable to join. Send it to my main one, Katie. calls it a struggle bus.
Well,
Well,
you know,
one thing that I'm excited to share with people, and you guys have parts that you're going to share, is that I've worked extensively with Iboga, and I started out with Ibogaine, and have direct experience with how these medicines work
Mhm.
separately from one another, and the benefits that both of them also contribute to our growth and our healing. And so I'm excited to, be a part of this today to help people understand, what might be best for them, depending on where they're
Hmm.
at and what they're looking to, what their intention is for this. And we hear people talk about Iboga all the time, and they're referring to Ibogaine, and they're not really speaking of the Bwiti spiritual tradition from Africa and a lot of the spiritual components and everything about the Iboga tree. And there's a big difference, and that's a big confusion, mentioning that, and then really what you're referring to or what you're looking to engage in is a
Hmm.
detox with ibogaine, in two different worlds, really. So
Yeah.
um, what we bring together today with all of us is a lot of experience with this tradition, and with ibogaine itself. So everybody should get a clear understanding by the time we're finished with how these two work.
Okay, so she's struggling. She said just kind of go on without her, so we'll just do that. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. And if she can get on, we'll gladly have her jump in.
Sure.
So my name is Patrick. I'm a registered nurse and co-founder of Soul Reflections, Iboga Retreats and Community. And I'm a student of this tradition and super excited to be here to be able to share with you guys today.
And my name is Mark Anthony, and I work alongside Patrick and Michelle at Soul Reflections, doing preparation, integration, and also assisting them with hosting our retreats, for people to experience Iboga and this spiritual tradition from Africa down in Mexico. Been working for 15 years in this field, with this medicine, and excited to be here to speak with you guys today.
Oh, Michelle got booted out. What is going on? Heavens.
I just pop her another in, but when I got out, I was able to get back in right away with your with
Yeah.
your invite. So there she is.
Okay.
I know. Oh, I think there's spirits
Okay.
in this room playing with my
Introduce yourself,
technology.
Michelle, quickly.
Um, Hello, my name is Michelle. I'm a co-founder of Soul Reflections, Iboga, and an Iboga provider and a retired LPN. And I'm excited to talk to you all about, Iboga and Ibogaine.
Okay.
All right.
Mark.
So
Okay.
I'm going to kick this off, with sharing the origin of Iboga and Ibogaine. This medicine comes from the central West African portion of the country, from the countries of, or the continent, the countries of Gabon, Cameroon, the Congo Basin, and areas of Senegal. Um, it is, these are not used in the same way. They both come from the Tabernacle iboga plant, but one of them is one of the alkaloids, which is ibogaine, and iboga comprises all of the alkaloids, including ibogaine. And that's one of the main differences scientifically about them and how they work. You work with the entire plant when you work with iboga and all of its alkaloids, and when you work with ibogaine, it's just an extracted version of that. And ibogaine can also come from a plant called Vocanga africana, which also comes from various areas of Africa, including some parts of South America as well. So ibogaine happens in other areas, not just from the iboga tree itself. So that's the basic origin of iboga and ibogaine.
Yeah. And Iboga actually has over 100 alkaloids in it.
Yes.
16 around ish, which are being studied, and over around 30 that have been identified. So, but a lot of them have not even been studied yet. So it is a very complex plant that offers a lot of brain health and healing and those sorts of things. But and then also ibogaine as a single molecule from either iboga or Vocanda africana, you know, is a very complex and beautiful molecule that that you know we're only just beginning to really see the benefits of. You know, I mean, we know from anecdotal reasons why these two substances are so helpful, but science is just starting to catch up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, and then we have the whole notions of traditional versus the clinical context of this plant and its applications. So with Iboga, traditionally it's ceremonial, used in ceremony, used for reflection, for long-term healing, for reaching out, seeing, and communing with nature and such like that. But it's also used for addiction, for a vast array of mental health diseases, and traumatic brain injury, etc., like that. It has many purposes. Ibogaine primarily been seen in the clinical detox settings, and for like a rapid reset. We're seeing it now a lot with like traumatic brain injury with veterans and with depression and such like that. Um, and it's because of the higher content of the ibogaine that's in it, which has a lot to do with the cardiotoxicity, with the lengthening of the QT, that we're really concerned about to make sure for all safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so fortunately Katie couldn't get on. So with the applications, Iboga is usually, there's a lot of clarity, a lot of emotional processing, a lot of like deep internal work, like spiritual insight, and you see it being used for microdosing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ibogaine is really great. That's been touted for interrupting addiction, withdrawals, withdrawal relief, the neurochemical recalibration, such as like Parkinson's and whatnot, and then with microdosing of the such. But with these things being mentioned, what's really important to note is although Iboga has been traditionally ceremonially used, Iboga successfully addresses all the same applications and even more than the clinical ibogaine, how it serves, just because of all the other alkaloids that are there to use to buffer and to help support the systems.
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, iboga, like the duration and the experience of the medicine. So iboga is a much longer experience. Probably around 24 to 48 hours with then an integration, what we call an integration day, or a day to just sort of like buffer, all that you've learned in that long process in those 24 to 48 hours, where ibogaine is shorter. It's about half of that, so 20 or 12 to 24 hours, and then with a day for integration and sort of recalibration. So there's a big difference in that as well. Ibogaine tends to be a little more aggressive, I would say, as an entry, as when you go into it, it's more in your face. And I think that's because it doesn't have those other alkaloids in there to kind of buffer it, to carry it. The way iboga, when we talk about plants and the way they're designed to carry us. They're designed to work with us. And when we just isolate one point of it, sometimes we miss out on some of those other benefits that the plant has created to work with us. So I think it's really important to note that in some ways, even though the experience is longer, it can be softer around the edges, I'll say.
True.
Yeah. So we're moving into a spot that I'm really passionate about is with the protocols and the safety. Iboga is usually seen in a kind of a ceremonial based space as such like that with microdosing pathways and such. A lot of intuition and other pathways I'll get into. The ibogaines, you're seeing it mostly in like a medically supervised, like detox protocol or in a clinic of a such, right? Now, most ibogaine clinics dose with the milligram per kilogram. Okay, and so and that's a good way of being able to collect data, but it's really important to note that both Ibogaine and Iboga really should be dosing based on the titration to effect. Not just merely on milligram per kilogram, because everybody is so individual and we all biotransform the medicine at different rates and at different efficiencies.
Mhm.
It's really important because what we see is if you go strictly off the milligram per kilogram, the potential for giving someone too much medicine, so where they tip over and they're in a confusional state or delusional state or moving into a psychosis, is really apparent, and we see that from time to time at different clinics and such like that. So it's really important to um, do a titration to effect.
Mhm.
Both Ibogaine and Iboga, they both require like a full extensive medical screening, um, a cardiac assessment, a mental assessment, medication review, a family history, their surgical history, all like a very comprehensive medical questionnaire of a sort. And then, of course, the proper preparation and
Mhm.
an extensive integration to help along with it. And the safety protocols differ because the experiences can be very different. Example, like a detox protocol as opposed to a psychospiritual type of a protocol, or as to a microdosing for Parkinson's or whatnot. So it's really an individual by individual by individual way of the person coming to this medicine and using our knowledge of the medicine, tradition, and Western medicine to help really marry that into a really safe way of helping the person move through that.
Mhm.
Basi.
Let's
Yes,
see.
pie, Basi.
We want to touch a little bit on preparation and integration. For many medicines, you may be able to bypass this. With Iboga and Ibogaine, not so much. Very, very important. And here at Soul Reflections, we highly emphasize and have programs set up for going through preparation and joining our integration community. Both require ongoing support to turn the experience into a lasting change. Preparation is so important to ensure coming in to the medicine in a safe and ready state to do the work required. This is a very um, inwardly journey within yourself. And it takes a lot of energy and a lot of work and intention to be very real and come into this with reverence. So we stress and have a specific program for preparation. And once you go through this retreat and work with this medicine deeply, we have an incredible follow-up program with integration that we also put equally importance on because it just if you really want to make shifts in your life and not waste that week, you really have to put in the work afterwards. That's when the journey really starts. So, integration is where the real transformation occurs. So, we invite you to join our community for doing integration. If you've worked with Ibogaine or Iboga before, it's very supportive with lots of tools and resources, and we're here for everybody to support you on your journey.
Awesome.
Basi.
Yeah, and this really is Ibogaine is part of Iboga, and I think that's what we have to remember, that Ibogaine is in Iboga. And so whatever people are
Awesome.
getting from Ibogaine in an Ibogaine session, you're going to get from an Iboga session. It doesn't
Awesome.
work the other way around because Ibogaine doesn't have those other alkaloids that are working with the body and the mind and spirit. And I think spiritual connection is stronger. Not that you can't have the spiritual connection with Ibogaine, but it's just that little the spirit is a little louder, you know, in the plant when we have not adulterated it in any way. And so I think that speaks to me anyway when I'm working with this medicine, and also being very mindful. I'd like to point out that we don't buy medicine off of Instagram or Facebook or anywhere online like that. That is so important to know your sources when you're going to a retreat. You know, ask those questions about where they get their medicine from, and because it is a very particular plant and it only likes to grow where it likes to grow, we have to be very mindful of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to know the difference between Ibogaine and Iboga, because that is what's going to help you make your choice on what it is you need. If you're thinking about working with this plant or with Ibogaine, with Iboga or Ibogaine, then know the difference. You know, even do a little more research. We've kind of touched on all the little things today, but know what it is that makes them different, so that you can make the best decision for you.
And if you don't, reach out to us. And
Yeah.
even if you don't come and sit with us, we'll guide you to the safest, best place that works for you and point you in the right direction, because in the end, it's what's best for you. And nobody wants to make a mistake going somewhere and potentially get hurt or waste their hard-earned money on something, you know, that is very important. So anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So you can hit us up, ask us any questions over on our Soul Reflections Iboga IG, or you can even email us at info@soulreflections.net.
Mhm.
And we'll have this in here posted here in the next day. You can always comment on that too if there's other questions coming up.
Yeah.
A big shout out to everybody who joined us. Thank you so
Yes. Thank
much
you for being here.
for everything. And for Katie, sorry we couldn't see your beautiful face on here. She's such an integral part of our team. Uh, we kind of love her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
She will be on the next one for sure.
yeah, yeah.
We
So
will give
anyways, thank you
her
again so much, guys,
Yes.
too. All right.
Everybody have a good
for
evening.
joining
Thank you
us.
from wherever you are.
And we're gonna
And
be,
more Iboga myth busting to come.
Yes.
yeah,
Lots,
more to
lots more
come.
conversations.
Absolutely. Okay.
Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Enjoy. Peace.
Bye, everybody, guys.